Folks, there are bikes you ride and there are bikes you experience. The Royal Classic 350, even in the new BS6 avatar, belongs firmly in the second category. Now, before we start the ride, let's quickly go through the specs, the basics. This is a 349cc single cylinder air cooled fuel injected engine at 20 bhp. Uh, Offering 20 bhp at 6100 rpms, 27 newton meter torque at 4000 rpms. The curb weight is about 195 kgs. It has a 5-speed gearbox. And with that out of the way, let's just go for a quick ride. On the ride, I will explain to you exactly what these numbers mean and what are some engineering marvels attached to this bike. Right, so we're off. Now I'm going to be telling you more about the bike in detail, the engineering, the specs, and I'm going to delve a little bit into what it means, what the numbers I just mentioned mean. So, now 20 bhp means 20 brake horsepower, and this is basically the power that is generated by the engine every second. But this power is generated only at 6100 rpms. This is a relatively high number for a bike that is supposed to feel relaxed and unhurried. What this tells you is that the J series engine, which is the new BS6 engine, is not purely a bottom end thumper. It actually has a healthy mid and top end too. Uh, but here's the thing, you rarely need to go there. The torque arrives so early and so strongly that most riders will cruise happily even without ever seeing 6000 rpms on the tacho. The 6100 rpm peak is there if you want it, but this bike never demands it. Now, what does 27 Newton meter at 4000 rpm actually mean? Now, this is where the Royal Enfield story gets really interesting and where it differs meaningfully from its rivals. 27 Newton meters, slightly less than some competitors on paper, but look at where it arrives. 4000 rpm. Now compare that to the old UCE, which is BS4, BS5 engine, which made peak torque even lower in the lever. Now compare that to the old UCE, which is B6 and B5 engine, which made peak torque even lower in the rev range. The J series has moved the peak torque slightly higher. This is a consequence of the short stroke design, but 4000 rpm is still very accessible in everyday riding. Now, Newton meter is your rotational pulling force. Think of it as the engine's muscle. 27 Newton meter at 4000 rpm, the engine is applying significant rotational force to move this 195 kg motorcycle. In real world terms, you are in the fourth gear at, let's say, 50 kilometers per hour in city traffic. You roll the throttle, the bike pulls without drama, without needing a downshift, without complaint. That effortless, unhurried surge, that is 27 Newton meter doing its job. It is not the most torque in the segment, but it is delivered in a way that feels completely natural and relaxed. This is the RE experienced. Now let's talk about the engineering depth for a while. The J series engine, most people don't realize that the BS6 Classic 350 is not an upgraded or an updated old engine. It is a completely new engine. Royal Enfield replaced the long-running UCE cast iron engine with the all-new J series and OHC overhead camshaft unit with a short stroke design. What does short stroke mean? The piston travels a shorter distance per cycle. This reduces internal friction, allows the engine to rev more freely, and significantly cuts vibration. The old Royal Enfield was famously vibratory. The J series fixed most of that while retaining the character. Now, the twin shock absorbers. Royal Enfield kept the classic twin rear shocks, partly for aesthetics, partly because their buyer expected. But these are properly tuned units, not decorative. They are calibrated for Indian road conditions and handle the bike's 196 kg weight very well. They also contribute to the classic silhouette that makes the bike instantly recognizable. But here's something no spec sheet captures. The J series, despite being smoother, still has that low frequency thump at idle. It is not just sound, you kind of feel it in your chest at the traffic light. Royal Enfield engineered a specific firing interval and flywheel weight to preserve this characteristic while cleaning up emission. This is a company that understands its buyer deeply. So, who is this bike for? This is not a bike for someone chasing lap times or technical perfection. This is for someone who wants to belong to something. Weekend rides, long highways, a community. The Classic 350 is as much a lifestyle as it is a motorcycle. There you have it, the RE Classic 350, which I just finished riding. The Classic 350 BS is not the most technically advanced 350 on sale, but it might be the most emotionally compelling one. And in motorcycling, emotions is everything. I'm also going to be doing a longer road test for this bike where I kind of take it out on the road, on a clear road, and put the specs and the engine to the tests. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.